Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Thursday, January 27th. Market gave up its gains. This morning, I sent out an email to my subscribers. I said, you got to sell that strong opening. You got to sell these rallies, folks. Even though if the weekly AAII sentiment reading showed the highest level of bearish sentiment since 2013. So it's the highest level of bearish sentiment on the part of individual investors in 9 years. Now, normally, that would be a great contrarian buy signal. We did get a pop on the opening, but I said sell into that. You have to sell every rally right now. We are in a condition right now, which I've been explaining to you. The government budget has flipped from deep deficit, which was extremely powerfully bullish for the stock market for, going back to 2003, okay? And certainly in the last couple of years when it was unprecedented in the size, the nominal size of the deficits, $3 trillion a year. I mean, that was massive. That was so bullish. And it was why you had to buy every dip in the market. And I've been consistent with this all during that time. But conditions have flipped. I mean, this is, the automatic stabilizers in reverse. When spending continues at a certain pace, maybe slows a little bit, but tax collections are rising faster and the government budget flips into surplus. And a surplus means it is now removing a quantity of the financial assets, income and savings from the economy. And at the same time, it is causing the economy, the non-government, to accumulate more debt. And under those conditions, it's very hard to grow the economy. And that's what is happening right now. So right now, we may see protracted periods of high levels of bearish sentiment and negativity, and the market may still go down. It's like when we were in that bull market with really powerful fiscal support, the market was going up every day, and there were times when it was days, even weeks, maybe months of high levels of bullish sentiment, and there was no correction. I mean, it had to get really extreme for an extended level of time. We have that same condition now, only in reverse, where the market is going down, lots of bearish sentiment, lots of negativity, but it still goes down. You're not getting a rally, and any little rally, they don't last. So that is the condition we are in right now. And I know when it's going to end. I can't tell you a date. It's going to end when the economy slows down to the point or contracts in a recession where the automatic stabilizers start to kick in once again. Rising unemployment benefits, food stamps, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all those things really start to expand. And that is a safety net under the economy. I can't predict the date, but that's how it will end unless Congress comes together on a new stimulus or a budget. I mean, we're still running on a continuing resolution. Maybe a budget will do it, I don't know. But politically, it doesn't look like they're going to get much other than just keep rolling over these stupid continuing resolutions. All right, that's the first thing I got to say. All right? The second thing I got to say is we're starting to see some CEOs now, and one in particular, Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple. Apple just came out with its earnings, had fantastic earnings. The stock is up after hours, but I doubt that rally is going to hold because, Q4, fourth quarter earnings are history. The market is now looking ahead. But what I want to say about Tim Cook is that he's saying, guess what, folks? Supply chain issues are easing. Well, who's been telling you that for weeks, if not months now? I mean, it's practically been every video I've been making now for a long time where I've been talking about the rise, the turnaround in commercial and industrial loans. You know, I post that in my report every week. I talk about it here on the channel, and I kept saying the rise in commercial industrial loans, which these are loans primarily used to finance inventory. That is a sign that supply chain issues are easing and the shelves are going to be stocked. So Tim Cook came out and said what I have been telling you now for weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe months and months, all right? So you get all that stuff from me first. You get the budget situation. You'll hear about the surplus. I've been telling you, you know, White House is going to brag about it. Don't worry about it. And I've been telling you that the supply chain issues are easing. The problem is, by the way, let me just add that we got fourth quarter GDP today, and it was big. You know, I think what was it, like 6.9% or something like that. And you know, that's what initially popped the market up. But if you look at that GDP report, which I did, the main propellant, the main component in that thing that lifted it up was a record increase in private business inventories. 224.7 billion increase in inventories in the fourth quarter. There is nothing even comes close in the history of our economy. Now, this goes back to what I was saying, that, you know, we're going to see a big rise in inventories, and it came true in the numbers. And again, you have Tim Cook saying the same thing. But here's the problem now. The inventory increase, which, you know, is great because it's going to lead to falling prices, but it's coming at a time when the government's budget is literally pulling a rug out from under the economy. So now these companies that had no inventory because of the supply chain, they finally were able to procure inventory, thinking like, oh, this is what we needed for 2 years, right? We didn't have stuff to send out to our customers. Now we have it, but they have this massive overhang of inventory right at a time when the economy is slowing down and maybe even going into a recession. You see what that means? I mean, these poor companies, they're going to get whipsawed like crazy. First they had nothing, and now they have this mountain of inventories, which basically is, number one, going to sit on shelves. Number two, going to be a depressive factor on prices. Watch this whole inflation thing implode, okay? The whole inflation thing is going to implode. I mean, you won't even, you know, the hysteria we had over inflation? We're going to have the same hysteria over, you know, prices collapsing. I mean, it's just incredible. This is the absolute worst time for this flip on the government's fiscal. I mean, this is the absolute worst time. I mean, you want to sustain the economy now because companies are sitting on a record monumental, massive amount of inventories. All right? And it's exactly the opposite of what's happening. And to make matters worse, Powell, the idiot, is going to be raising interest rates in all this. And this is really bad for the banks. You know, I've been very bullish on the banks for a long time, and now I'm just thinking, they financed all this stuff. So all these loans, not all of them, but a lot of these loans are going to have to get marked down. They financed all this stuff. I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, it is a freaking mess. Really, I'm like at a loss for words right now. There's another thing if you want me to add even. I mean, God. By the way, all this stuff, the budget flipping into surplus, it's very bullish for the dollar. It's very bearish for gold. Gold is going down. Commodities are going down. I will tell you this. Next month, February, OPEC starts to increase output, and they're going to be increasing output all the way through September to take back 3.5 million barrels a day in cuts that were made in 2020. So on top of all this, we're going to get a pile up of petroleum inventories. Crude could go down, I don't know, crude could maybe go down to 40. Easily, I see this under these conditions. So everything that all these hysterical maniacs were talking about with the inflation, which was, and I've been very consistent, this has all been due to the pandemic and supply shortages. It's not about money, printing money, they're printing. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. That was all bullshit. That was all ignorance. That was all people not knowing what they're talking about. And there's still people out there like Schiff talking about just wait until it's going down. Inflation is going to, this whole inflation hysteria, this whole inflation, narrative is just going to implode. I mean, prices are really going to come down. So anyway, that's the lovely, report I have to offer you today. Look, you can make a lot of money off of this. A lot of money off of this if you know what to do. Go to my website, Pitbull, or actually send me an email, mnorman@pitbulleconomics.com. If you want to sign up, I will work with you on a one-on-one subscription. The price on the website right now is for institutions. And so that's it. That's the story, folks. See you tomorrow. Bye.